Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. As we've heard today from my colleague, the dire social impacts of the BDS movement across the world and right here in Ontario are far-reaching, exceedingly backwards and relentless. And so, to begin, I'd like to thank the member for Niagara West Glanbrook for the opportunity to lend my support to his timely bill, calling for a province-wide solution to the growing and disturbing trend of BDS. We as legislators have a duty to ensure the people of Ontario are free from discrimination, and given the impacts of BDS, it's vital that we live up to that responsibility when it comes to addressing anti-Semitism here in our own backyard, and in particular, its impacts on our bright young leaders of tomorrow. Ilya Socholetsky, an Israeli-Canadian and second-year student at the University of Waterloo, was waiting for the bus one day on his way home from school. He was approached by students asking for him to sign a petition. They asked him, "Do you believe in human rights?" "Of course I believe in human rights," Ilya thought. But thankfully, before signing their petition, he probed a little further. The students with the petition were asking the University of Waterloo to cut ties with Israeli universities based on the loose notion that the universities were implicit in the murder of Palestinians. They claimed this boycott isn't against individuals, it's against institutions. But, Madam Speaker, how can we say that the BDS movement isn't against individuals? For the Jewish community, the BDS campaign is a reminder of the pre-Holocaust era when the Nazis first enacted boycotts against Jewish businesses. In Ontario, we hold academic institutions to a much higher standard. So to allow hate to foster on publicly funded campuses is simply unacceptable. We as legislators have a duty to stop it. As an Israeli-born Canadian and an academic, Ilya felt this same duty because he knew he was not alone in feeling completely uncomfortable on his own campus. In his own words, he said, "Hate is being fostered here." Sadly, enough students signed the petition to call for an automatic referendum, a vote left to the students to decide whether or not they would support BDS at the university. It was soon found that many of the signatures leading to the referendum were gathered unethically. When an email went to those students who had signed the petition to let them know exactly what their signatures meant, boycott, divestment and sanctions against partner Israeli universities, several hundred students retracted their signatures, stating that they felt bullied and pressured into signing the petition. Speaker, this is not a peaceful protest. This movement and its referendum absolutely polarized the campus and the community, and it did so quickly. It unfathomably that an institution like this, Jewish students are made to no longer feel comfortable wearing the Star of David on campus, some told me. Marcus Abramovich called the pro-BDS campaign on campus aggressive and confrontational. He was scared of how quickly it gained traction. It even got to the point that those students who opposed the BDS movement were called Nazis. It doesn't make sense, Speaker. Israeli and Jewish students were brought to tears as they felt it was a personal attack on them, on the campus they call home. Speaker, the BDS movement is an attack on individuals. Almost every single sequence of anti-Semitism has historically begun with a boycott, separation, dehumanization, and divestment of Jewish people. As tough of a battle as it was at the University of Waterloo, and Speaker, this wasn't years ago. This was this past January, 2016. But I am so proud to say that the University of Waterloo, the school in my region, voted no to the referendum. It was failed with a vote of 1,803 in favour and 2,329 opposed. Julia Zelikovic, VP of UW and Local Partner Services at the Centre for Israel and Jewish Affairs, noted, "This result would not have happened if it were not for the hard work of students on campus who refused to be silent in the face of this discrimination." As you've heard today, the BDS movement is growing and gaining traction. However, today we have a chance to use our voices and our votes to do what is right. I am pleased to stand united with my colleague today to voice my support in ending prejudice in this province. I, like the University of Waterloo students in my riding, will vote no to BDS. Thank you.